Hey guys, what's up? Welcome to my channel. If you're new, I'm Kelly. This is Kbellabeauty, and we are here with another Mommy Monday video. I am a new mom. I have a 15-month-old daughter, and so even though this is a beauty channel, I decided I wanted to create a Mommy Monday series where I could talk about mom stuff with you. I know that there are several YouTubers on here who have become mommies or are about to become mommies, and so I thought this might be helpful for y'all too. I have been compiling a list of baby must-haves. I don't want to say newborn must-haves because some of these things are things that I still use with my daughter now, and she's 15 months old. And when I say must-have, these are just kind of like baby favorites. Like, you don't necessarily need to run out and get all of these things. Like, a must-have are like diapers, wipes, and food. Like, how are you gonna feed your baby and change your baby's diaper? But these are some of my favorite items, things that I found worked for me and my daughter, and I wanted to share them with you. So why don't we go ahead and jump into the video. I do want to say each of these items that I mention we do have in our possession, but some of the things that she used when she was younger are packed away in the closet, in the garage, in the attic, and I didn't want to pull all of those things out. So I have just decided, for the sake of easiness in filming this video, we're going to insert pictures of all of the items that I'm talking about, but I'll let you know if it's something that my daughter uses now or she used when she was a newborn. I also do want to say that I am going to follow this up with maybe a nursing mama must-haves. I nursed my daughter until she was 14 months old. I did not bottle feed her formula. I mean, I gave her bottles of breast milk, but I didn't formula feed her. So I don't have anything in here related to nursing, bottle feeding, or anything like that because I want to do a whole separate video for that. Let's talk about pacifiers. Like I said, I did nurse my daughter and I did see a lactation consultant. My daughter, Brielle, this necklace has her name on it. My daughter is 15 months old now, and we stopped nursing about a month ago. I saw a lactation consultant when I started and all of that, and I know if you are a nursing mom, you kind of hear conflicting things about pacifiers, but I did choose to give Brielle a pacifier. And when she was a newborn, we went with the Avent Soothie pacifiers. Now, I have a girlfriend whose baby did not take pacifiers at all. I have another girlfriend whose baby only took specific pacifiers. I found that Brielle was pretty easygoing when it came to things like bottles and pacifiers, but the Soothie pacifiers were the ones that she took to the best. They seemed to be her favorite, and so those are the ones that we used for a really, really long time. I would say maybe the first 3 or 4 months of her life. We then did incorporate some, what are they called? Tommy Tippy pacifiers. I want to say they were the ones that are supposed to be for breastfed babies. Like I said, I'll insert a picture. And she currently uses Tommy Tippy pacifiers, the orthopedic, is that what they're called? That doesn't sound right. The orthopedic pacifiers. The reason why she no longer uses the Avent Soothies is because they are the ones that have the little hole where the nipple is. And one time when she was sleeping, I want to say she was maybe 7 or 8 months old, she shoved her thumb in the pacifier during a nap, and when she woke up, the pacifier was on her thumb and I had to pull it off and her thumb was all red, and I was like, okay, no more. We will not have any more of those pacifiers when she is sleeping. So I would still give them to her when she was awake, but that's when we moved over to the Tommy Tippy ones with the little handle on it, and so that's what she uses now. We are still using a pacifier currently. I'm a first-time mom, so I don't really know when we're going to stop. I would say probably around 2 years of age, but the Tommy Tippy pacifiers work for her. I had a friend who swore by the MAM pacifiers, but Brielle never took to those. She wasn't a huge fan of those, but I know a lot of people like those ones as well. I also think it is very important to have a pacifier clip if you have a newborn baby, because she would shoot that thing out of her mouth, it would go flying across the room, and of course fall on a dirty floor when we were at a restaurant or a doctor's office. And I was gifted several different kinds of pacifier clips, which I thought was helpful. I had some cloth ones, but the pacifier clip that I liked the best was a silicone pacifier clip, and it was by the brand Lollipop, Lulu Lollipop. It was gifted to me, but I found that I liked that one best because it was super easy to clean. She was able to chew on it. It didn't hurt her when she was chewing on it, but I noticed she would drool all over the place and her cloth pacifier clips would be soaked and I didn't really know how to clean them. Like, do you throw it in the washing machine? Do you not? Dishwasher? I don't know. So the silicone ones I thought were the easiest for me because I would literally throw those in with her bottles and pacifiers when I was washing them and we were good to go. Speaking of, I forgot to add this to my list, but Munchkin makes pacifier wipes, okay? Go get you some of those. So I was definitely your typical first-time mom. I was worried about absolutely everything. And so Brielle's pacifier would fall on the floor and rinsing it was not enough for me. Like, I needed to go home and sterilize it and clean it completely when she was a newborn. As she's gotten older, I've gotten a little bit better, but I did find the Munchkin pacifier wipes and I felt so much better using those if we were at a friend's house or even at our house. When she would drop them at our house, I would pick them up and wash them before I would give them back to her. So I got to the point where if we were at our house or a friend's house and it fell on the floor, I would pick it up and use a pacifier wipe. If it fell on the floor at a restaurant, I'm still giving you a new one, kid, and I will wash that one. But those pacifier wipes came in very handy at the house. I realized that I am horrible at swaddling. Brielle loved to be swaddled at the hospital. She loved it from the time she was a fresh new baby, and it made me feel comfortable and safe because I knew that I could wrap her up and she would be warm, but also she was snug. She wasn't gonna roll around or get into anything. I never wanted to put a loose blanket on her because then if I was sleeping, she could accidentally pull it over her face. So for me, a swaddle was the way to go, but I could not learn how to swaddle to save my life. Every nurse we had tried to show me, every sibling and friend and my mom, like everybody tried to show me, okay? And I just could not get it. So thankfully, my mommy friend Sarah, she has 3 boys and she had children before me, thank goodness, she put me onto the Ollie Swaddle. And the Ollie Swaddle was an absolute lifesaver, because it's Velcro and it could grow with her. So we used the Ollie Swaddle. I was able to Velcro her in, it ties at the bottom, and as she grew and began to transition out of the swaddle, we could swaddle her with one arm out. We started that for about a month. Then we moved to 2 arms out when we were beginning to unswaddle her because she was beginning to roll over. So the Ollie Swaddle is expensive. I did put it on my registry. I don't think it's at Bye Bye Baby if I'm remembering correctly. Perhaps it was at Amazon. Anyway, I got the Ollie Swaddle as a gift. I want to say it's like $60. It's super expensive, but it was 100% worth it. However, my only regret is that I did not purchase the second one. I only had one, and that swaddle took a long time to dry. So when I would wash it, I would kind of be out of luck since she wasn't really a fan of any other swaddle. So I normally had to wash it during the day and it would go through several dryer cycles to dry. So my only regret is just that I did not have another one, but I will for sure use that swaddle when I have another baby. Now that she is no longer swaddled, I wanted to find something that I could put her in that would act as a blanket without actually being a blanket. Because like I said, first time mom, I was terrified of everything. I had plenty of friends say that they put a blanket on their kid and their kid was totally fine. But of course my pediatrician was like, no, don't do that, not safe, wait until they're older. So I decided to try the Zippity Zip, I think was one. I wasn't a fan of that. I want to say there was maybe another sack that I purchased and wasn't a fan of. At one point my husband was like, stop buying all of these things and not using them, but I wanted to find one that worked for us. And one that worked for us was a Halo sleep sack. Now the Halo sleep sacks have all kinds. They have kinds that swaddle, that you can wrap their arms up in. They have ones that are sleeveless, that's what we use. The kind that don't have any wraps on the end. They have cotton ones, fleece ones. We use the muslin because we live in Texas. So even in the winter, I didn't want it to be too thick because she would wear footy pajamas to sleep, or now she wears footless pajamas because her legs are so long, but she would wear footy pajamas to sleep. And I wanted a blanket on her that was safe, but that wouldn't make her too hot. So we went with the muslin Halo sleep sacks, and she is still sleeping in that to this day. I have heard this next item kind of go back and forth with people. There are people where I've watched their newborn must-have videos and they're like, yes, absolutely get this. And then there are people who call it overrated and say, pass on it. I am talking about the Diaper Genie. For me personally, I love our Diaper Genie. I don't know if it's very cost efficient because you have to keep buying the Diaper Genie refills. If you put it on your registry, you can maybe get the diaper pail and a year worth of refills. For me, it was worth it because in the beginning, Brielle was pooping all the time. She still poops like 3 or 4 times a day. Like, that girl can go. So for me, it was easy just to throw it in the diaper pail and not worry about the room stinking. Now, there are times now that she's older, when you open the diaper pail, you can smell it when it's open, but not when it's closed. So I get these little Arm & Hammer air fresheners, which I guess I should have on this list as well. I get these little Arm & Hammer air fresheners that you can put in the top of the diaper pail that helps with the aroma. But I don't know what I would have done if we didn't have a Diaper Genie because it's so convenient. I don't have to worry about throwing her diaper away in another room or taking it out to the trash can in the garage. I can throw it right inside that Diaper Genie, and when it's full, I just pull it out and keep on trucking. So for me, it was worth it. We got ours as a gift, and we have continued to purchase the refills, and I'll use it with my second baby when I have one. But for sure, for me, that was a plus. One of the things that my girlfriend Sarah encouraged me to get was a sound machine. Because if you think about it, when babies are in the uterus, they can hear your heartbeat, they can hear your blood flowing, they can hear your voice. It's never silent. There's always some kind of noise. And when it came time for me to think about Brielle sleeping and baby sleep, I liked to follow Kara from Taking Care of Babies. I will link her Instagram down below. She's super helpful. She does have classes that you can purchase to help with sleep. I used the newborn one and the 5 to 24 month ABCs of sleep. I purchased both of those and followed her courses to help get Brielle to sleep on schedule, to get into a little bit of a routine. And Kara from Taking Care of Babies recommended the Rohm sound machine. It's a portable sound machine. It can get pretty quiet. It can get really loud. It has a little string attached to it so you can hang it on things. And it just plugs in to charge. There are no batteries. You don't have to worry about any of that. And it comes with 3 different sounds, I think. So we purchased that for Brielle. I love it. We are still using it. I was able to take it with us whenever we traveled. It could go in the car with us. So it's super convenient because it doesn't have to be plugged into anything. You can take it to go with you and you don't have to worry about batteries. So I definitely recommend that one. If your baby ever has a fever and you need to take them to the pediatrician, at least our pediatrician, would always ask for a rectal temperature. What is the rectal temperature of the baby? And my friend Sarah told me, oh, get this, I think it's called Safety's First Thermometer, because you can use it under the arm, under the tongue, or rectally. So I did purchase it, and that's a great thermometer to use. But the only thing that made me nervous is I do struggle with anxiety, and even though there's a little knob so that you know not to go too far, I was still afraid that like she would kick or my hand would slip, and I was just terrified that I was going to hurt her when I was using that one. So I came across the Vick's thermometer, and I loved the Vick's thermometer because it has a bulb shape on one end and then the part that you insert into your baby's bum to take their temperature. So I felt comfortable using that one, but I knew that if she kicked, if she wiggled, if she moved, there was no possible way for me to accidentally hurt her when taking her temperature. So I am a huge fan of that thermometer. Another thing that we used as Brielle got a little bit older, when she was finally able to sit up, we didn't have her in her high chair when we were eating because she would get really fussy and she was still a little wobbly. But once she started to be able to sit up with assistance, we went to Target and picked up the Summer Infant Deluxe Super Seat in Wild Safari. And it's this little bumbo seat that has these toys on it that you can play with, but you're also supposed to be able to merge it into just the bumbo seat. You can take the toys off, you can take the little green part out, and we actually would put her in that little bumbo seat next to us when we ate, and that way she was close to us, but she didn't have to sit in her high chair, which she was having trouble with because she would fall over, but she had toys to play with. So we used that, oh my gosh, for months and months and months. I want to say maybe when she was 4 or 5 months old, we started putting her in it, and she used it up until she was maybe 9 or 10 months old, and then we transitioned her into her high chair. So that thing was a lifesaver for us because every meal we were putting her in that, and it was keeping her entertained. Clipping your baby's nails. I could not. I could not clip them. That was my husband's job. I know there were people, friends of mine, my mom, who said, oh, just bite their nails off. I wasn't about to do that. Well, my husband and I were at the pediatrician one day, and there's a lady with her newborn, and all of a sudden she whips out this thing and starts filing her baby's nails, and her baby's just sitting there. Meanwhile, I'm thinking, anytime Steve does Brielle's nails, we're both freaking out. Is he gonna cut them too short? She's moving. She doesn't wanna be all held all close. And I'm watching this lady and I'm like, I need that. I need whatever that is. So I actually walked over to her and said, ma'am, excuse me, what is this? And she said, oh, it's my baby's electric nail file. She said she got hers on Amazon. So I don't know if I purchased the exact same one as her, but we purchased the one pictured on the screen here, and it has different colors for the different ages of your baby, the different stages of baby's nails, and we have had no problem using that with Brielle. My husband is able to file her nails right down. We've never had any issues with it hurting her skin or peeling her skin. It's super soft. We've tried it on our skin, and it has just been a lifesaver because we don't have to worry about clipping her nails, but we're able to get them nice and short and filed down so they're not sharp at all. So totally recommend that. My sweet baby girl struggles with eczema. Probably my fault because I have super dry skin and I struggled with eczema as a baby. So her pediatrician recommended Aquaphor, the healing ointment. So we bought a big tub of it on Amazon. You can use that as a diaper rash cream if your baby has a bad diaper rash, but I take it and I actually rub it onto her skin, onto her legs and the back of her arms twice a day, especially right when she gets out of the bath. And I let it kind of soak into her skin before I dress her. And I feel like that helps to moisturize her skin even deeper when she has those patches of eczema. But I also love Aquaphor for their diaper rash cream, the 3-in-1 diaper rash cream with the blue label on it. That is the diaper rash cream that we've used for her based on her pediatrician's recommendation. They had a sample of it at her pediatrician's office, and so I took a couple samples, and my mom actually babysits my daughter when my husband and I are working, and she watches our neighbor's daughter who is 10 months older than Brielle. And so one day my neighbor's daughter had a really bad diaper rash because she has super duper sensitive skin, and if you do not change her immediately, she has a diaper rash. And so she asked me if I had any ointment that was different than hers because hers wasn't working. So I said, hey, I have this Aquaphor stuff. I'm gonna bring it over, use it. You can keep it. It was a little sample size. And she said within like 2 uses, her baby's diaper rash was completely gone and she loves it. So we actually use diaper rash cream pretty much with every diaper change that Brielle has. She's really only had diaper rash 2 or 3 times where it's gotten really bad and we had to go get a prescription to help clear it up. But otherwise we make sure to load her little tush up at night when she's sleeping because she does sleep through the night. But every time we change her, we put a little bit of diaper cream on there, and I feel like it really helps to keep her rash free. I have a couple more items I want to share with you. One was a gift, and boy was it a lifesaver when she was a newborn in those early days. The Boppy Lounger. I had an emergency C-section, and so I never got a, well, okay, I did have the Boppy that goes around you, but I never used it because it was uncomfortable on my incision. So even though I nursed her, I never used any of those pillows or Boppies to help me hold her. However, we were gifted a Boppy Lounger, and that was a lifesaver because in the beginning, if I laid Brielle down flat, if she was sleeping, sometimes it would wake her up and she immediately would start crying and she wanted to be held, and it just got really hard to like do things around the house. But we found when she was sleeping and we were awake, or even if she was just playing a little bit but starting to get a little sleepy, we would lay a little muslin blanket down on top of the Boppy Lounger, lay her on it and tuck her in so that she almost felt like she was swaddled, and she would drift off to sleep. And it would be so nice because our arms could get a little break from holding her. And we would typically do this if we were like watching TV. We would sit on TV on the couch and put it in between us and lay her on it. And so that was definitely a lifesaver. That was super helpful because Brielle had a witching hour. If you do not know what that is, look it up, from 9 p.m. to like midnight or 1 a.m. And she would just cry on and off, and it would get so stressful. So sometimes we would get to calm her down a little bit, but she like wanted to be held. So we would lay her gently in that little Boppy Lounger and she felt all snug and tucked in. So We loved that thing. She got too big for it before she started rolling over, but for sure if your baby's rolling over, you do not want to put them on a Boppy Lounger. And the last product that I want to share with you is a product that we have been using recently, and it's new to me. So all of the body wash products and stuff that we used were gifted to us, and we used different brands. We had Aveeno body wash, we had Dove body wash, Aveeno lotion, Dove body lotion, but recently we've really been struggling with Brielle's eczema and her dry patches, and so a friend recommended Tubby Todd. So we have begun to use Tubby Todd, and there is a basics set, but we only have a few of the items. I have the hair and body wash, which I've been using, and it has not created an issue with her eczema. Then we have the everyday lotion. So if she isn't breaking out with eczema anywhere specific, we'll use the everyday lotion all over. We do have the Dream Cream, which is like an everyday lotion, but thicker. So she typically has eczema on her legs and on her arms. So if she does have eczema on her skin, we'll use the everyday lotion like on her base, her belly, her chest, her back, but we'll use the Dream Cream on her arms and her legs if she's having some eczema. And we also did pick up the all over ointment, and that is a very thick concentrated cream, and so that is what I'm using specifically on those spots where she has eczema. So like she gets it on the back of her arm and also like right above her ankle. So I take a little bit of that cream twice a day when she has eczema spots and rub that on there. So I don't really have too much to say about it yet because we've only been using it for about a month, but it has worked nicely on her skin. She is struggling with some eczema on her legs right now, but overall it seems to be working, and it didn't cause her to break out, which is really nice. It did not make her eczema worse, which is what I'm looking for. That is going to do it for this video. I feel like I shared a lot of must-haves with you, so hopefully you don't feel too overwhelmed. If you have some must-have items that you feel like I didn't mention, please let us know in the comments down below, because I know each baby is different, each mom is different. We have preferences on what we want our kiddos to have, and if there's something, if there's a standout product for you and you're like, hey Kelly, you didn't mention this, but I really love it, please let us know in the comments down below, and hopefully some new mommies will come across this video and find some of these items helpful for them. Also, if you are nursing or you plan to nurse, or you're not pregnant yet but you hope to nurse one day, I will have a video coming up really soon of like my breastfeeding or nursing must-haves, and so that is where we will talk about bottles and things like that. But that's gonna do it for this video. I hope that you guys did enjoy it. If you did, please go ahead and give it a thumbs up. I hope that you will consider subscribing before you go, and I'll see you guys in my next one. Bye!